Hello everyone, today me and my team members are here to give a presentation on big data governments. So we are four team members, me, Amuna, Nabina and Benjil. So for this presentation we have a contents of introduction, advantages, challenges, best practices of data governance, tools and techniques, data governance framework, SAP HANA, case study, conclusion and some references. Let's move towards the introduction part. So, big data governance refers to the management of huge volume of organization data, which helps in better decision making with utilizing of different analytical tools. As per the uh, R. Senior 2014, the execution and the enforcement of authority over the management of data and data related assets is known as big data governance. Big data has 5 years. Volume, which refers to the size of data; variety, which refers to the type of data; value, it refers the importance of the data; and veracity describes the trusted data, whereas velocity is known as the data generated from. So we have the next slide, which is the importance of the big data governments. The importance of big data governments are it helps in the insurance of data consistency, reliability, and repeatability. It also helps in the guidance of various analytical activities, as well as it helps in the enable the saving money of business transaction, as well as it helps to solve the analytics and the reporting issues. It also provides the clarity on conflicting data. So we have the next slide, which describes the advantages and the benefits of data in business. The advantages of big data in business are it helps in making the better decisions, and also helps in improved data understanding and lineage. Also, it helps in the greater data quality, where and who is responsible with the data, along with the help in operating the business efficiency. We have the, can I have the next slide, sir? Thank you. So we are the last slide I'm representing is the challenge of big data. So there are various challenges of big data. So one of them is lack of data leadership, which means the data, the business organization are having problem with the data leadership. It means who are the people, they need the people who are responsible for the data. The second one is lack of adequate budget and clear ownership, which defines that the budget available and the identification whose budget would be identified for the data governments will land is one of the challenges of big data governments, as well as there are various sources of data which helps in difficulty getting the better decisions, and as well as the lack of data documentation, where and what kind of data could be responsible for whom people, to which people, and which part of department is the challenges of big data governments, as well as it's very difficult to analyze the root cause of conflicting the data. From here, the rest of the part of presentation will be carried out by our next team member, Novina. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarmila. So I will be doing the rest of some slides. So first I will go with the best practices for the data governance. So the first best practices for the data governance are like set format standard for your data. That means, and use the technology to enforce those standards during all steps of the data processing, and uncover all unstructured data, like in your data governance strategy, data that lives in your files, folders, and the shares. Map your business goal for the data governance, or create manageable task point and assign a chief data officer, and manage and similarly to minimize the impact to the individual contributors. Establish the different role, like for example, for each member of your team, they should be cross-functional and inspired to push initiative, and classify and tag all of your data. Measure your progress with the different metrics, and automate as much as you can, like including the workflow, approval processes, data request, and permission requests, etc. Next slide, please. So talking about the scope of the data governance, that data governance has the many facets and the touches that organization in the variety of the ways. So it covers the variety of the practices like the data architecture management, data development, database operation management, data security management, reference and master data management, data warehousing and business intelligence management, and document and the content management, master data management, and the data quality management. So to maintain the quality, standard, integrity, and the security of the data. So it is like used by the different business sectors like hospitals, different industries, IT offices, and so many other industry sectors. So next slide, please. So talking about the tools and technique of the data governance is an ongoing program rather than a technology solutions, but there are the tools that can help support that program. The tools that suit your enterprise will depend on your needs, data volume, and the budget. So some of the important popular software are SAP HANA, SAS, Oval Edge, TrueDat, X20, Libra, IBM Data Governance, ITC. So the next slide, please. So talking about technique, how to improve the data governance. So first of all, we have to prioritize the area for the business improvement and maximize the ability of the information assets and create the role, responsibility, and the rules. Similarly, improve and ensure the information assets integrity and establish an accountability infrastructures and convert a master database culture as well. And similarly, lastly, we must develop a feedback mechanism for the process improvement. So next slide, please. So talking about the data governance framework, there are various data framework that are available or that different business adopt for their businesses. So this first figure shows the overall framework of the big data governance, like which includes the data operation management, data risk management, data security management, data development, regulatory compliance, data quality management, data architecture management, and data policy management. It is like similar as the scope, but and this another picture shows the is the example of the uh, framework that is applied by the IBM company for their improvement of the business. So here they all divide the framework in the different part, like the supporting disciplines, core disciplines, enables, and we have to put main one goal in every framework. So for the remaining slide, I would like to call upon Miss Muna, but unfortunately she is not able to attend this presentation because she's sick, or she has a sore throat. So she will do her part in the next presentation. So we will skip her part. So I would like to call upon the Benjil for the further presentation.
Thank you, Nabina. So I will be covering the case study part. So the case study we chose is Data Governance Framework for Big Data Implementation with the case of Korea. This is a case analysis based on the Big Data Governance Framework with the National Pension Service of South Korea. So I would like to talk about what the case study focuses on. The National Pension Service of South Korea is the fourth largest pension fund, worth 440 trillion won in assets. The NPS is expected to disclose the national pension data in 2016 by South Korea's Government 3.0 policy and public data use promotion project. The disclosed data can be used for big data services and will contribute to creating new business opportunities and public services such as traffic information and hospital search. NPS possesses 20 terabytes of data and 74.7 billion cases of data. The NPS already applied big data analysis techniques to CRM for analysis of trends in the public opinion. Now I will be talking about big data issues. There are several issues that are discussed in the case that includes the first issue to be considered is relation to big data and the leakage of personal information and the infringement of privacy. The second one is concern about the appearance of the big brother is an issue that is constantly raised together with the invention of computers. Although companies and public institutions that have a system which can inquire or utilize a large amount of personal information data can provide convenience through services utilizing big data, paradoxically, it means that citizens or customers' private lives are monitored by someone else. The vast amount of data that the government possesses is controlled by an independent department responsible for data management, and those enterprises that execute services for the public have their own department and staff in charge of the management of various kinds of data, including personal communication information and credit information. The third one is responsibility for data quality and services. If there is a problem with the reliability of the concerned data, it cannot be guaranteed that the source data has 100% complete data quality. Apart from the quality problem of data managed by public agencies, the data that are searched and extracted from the internet can have a quality problem. So the data governance and big data governance framework used in the case is discussed further in the presentation. The data governance framework for big data. The general data governance framework is utilized as a framework for determining the disclosure scope of data, defining the responsibility for data quality and providing the standards for a stable data service. The data governance framework enables a systematic organization of thoughts and communication about complex and ambiguous concepts. So so data standardization policies and processes and organizations are the important components of data governance. These components pursue the same data attributes as ordinary data that are accessibility, availability, quality, consistency, security, and auditability. So data governance framework for big data. There is one question asked in the case, which is, what is the best way to realize big data services while protecting personal information and privacy, preventing the monopoly of information and guaranteeing appropriate data quality? So the answer that is provided by the author in the case is that it is to establish a system that can prepare an infrastructure for big data services based on data governance and provide stable services through a balance of responsibility and authority. The author suggests that unlike general data governance, big data governance needs to create new analytics and values. Thus, there is another framework that is proposed by the author, or which is an improvised framework for big data governance. Clearly, the main aim or objective is to clarify what values the big data service will need to be brought to light. Based on the purpose of the declaration, a strategy should be formulated to achieve the goals of personal information protection, data quality, and data responsibility, and to ensure that each phase of audit and control is carried out in accordance with the collection process, analysis, and visualization phase. And also the components are organization, standardization, and guidelines, and policies in process. So now moving towards conclusion, data governance framework to prevent a policy failure by summarizing policy considerations in addition to technical success possibility is proposed by the author. For a successful execution of big data, a governance framework can be used as a basis for analysis of the risk factors in advance and preventing the risk of problem occurrence. So these are the references where we got all our presentation work from. And thank you very much.